In this video, we're going to add in a new piece of state to our text screen component. Since we're only trying to track one variable here, we're going to use the useState hook from React as opposed to the useReducer hook. So at the very top, right next to React, I'm going to write out inside of a set of curly brackets, useState. Then inside of text screen, I'm going to initialize a new piece of state. I'll call it name because that's what we're supposed to be entering inside of here. And I'll get my setter, which I'll call setName. I'll then call useState on the other side, and I'll provide an initial value of an empty string like so. So now we've got a actual piece of state right here and a way to change it. So the piece of state we want to pass down into our text input and set its value directly. In other words, we want our text screen, we want the parent to tell the child what its current value should be. Even though that seems really weird and it seems like the text input already knows what the value should be because we can type in there, nonetheless, the parent is going to tell the child what the current value is. So instead of a hard-coded value right here, I'm going to delete that and replace it with a set of curly brackets, and inside there I'll say name like so. So if we save this right now, we essentially have a hard-coded value for our text input. And if you actually go back over to your text input right now and try to type in here, you're going to see something really interesting. We can't type in anything at all. It appears that some text appears for like half a second, but then it very quickly goes away. So that's a side effect of using this value prop. We are telling the text input exactly what its value is, and we have no opportunity right now, there's absolutely no way to change its value. So the text input's value is hard-coded, even if a user types in here, doesn't matter, because 100% of the time, the text input's value is going to be empty string. So to change that, we need to eventually have the ability to call our setName. So we can update our state, cause this component to re-render, and pass an updated value of name down into this value prop. So on text input, I'm going to pass in on change text. There we go. That's better. And we're going to pass this thing a callback function. So this callback function is going to be called with whatever new value a user types inside of here. So we might call that argument something like new text or new value, whatever makes sense to you. I'll go with new value for right now. Then inside the callback function, we can call our setter. That's going to update our piece of state. Again, remember, anytime we update our state, it will cause this component to re-render. When it re-renders, the new value will be present inside of our name variable right here. We're then going to re-render text input and pass in the new value. So then the new value is going to appear on the screen, even though it really was kind of visible before, right? That's the weird part here. Okay, so let's do it inside of that callback function. We'll call setName, pass in the new value like so, and that's pretty much it. So now we can save this. If I go back to text demo, I can once again type in here successfully. So now the big difference is that now we've got this piece of state called name that we can make use of inside this component as much as we please. So again, the whole issue here, I can't repeat enough, it's all about getting access to the data inside that text input. Even if it seems really weird, it's all about just making sure that our parent element doesn't try to inspect that child. So now that we've got access to that variable right there, that name variable, we can now place a text input right here. Inside of it, I'll say my name is, and then I'll print out the current value of name. Technically, our original mockup over here also showed enter name right there as a label, so I'll just put that in above the text input as well. Oop. Text, and we'll say enter name. And okay, let's test this out. So I'll go back to my text demo. I'll enter in Steven, and there we go. It appears right away on the screen. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The pattern that you see right here, we're going to utilize this pattern every last time we have a text input. Doesn't matter when, every time we show a text input, we're always going to have some state variable somewhere that we're shoving into that text input. We're always going to add in the onChangeText prop. We're always going to pass it a callback function that calls some setter or something similar that's going to try to update that state value. So you can essentially kind of copy this right here, or just make sure you hold on to this file for reference, because again, every time we show a text input, we're going to repeat these same steps. Okay, so now we got this put together. Let's take a pause right here and continue in the next video.